Hello, thanks for joining me for another review. Today we've got a beer from Doc's Beers, and this is their Wind Power Session IPA. It's coming in at 3.5% ABV. These guys are out of Grimsby in Lincolnshire on the east coast, sort of north of the Wash and south of the Humber sort of region on the east coast of England. Session IPA then, let's just pour the rest of this can. I've already opened the beer. This was part of our recent Good Beer Live. I've just finished recording with Jake and from Jaco Beer and Rob from Hotzine, as you probably already know. We reviewed this, or reviewing this now on the 30th of November. Big thanks to the brewery for sending me a host of their beers down. There'll be a few more coming, another 5 in fact on top of this one. So here we go. Nice looking can. As you can see, kind of a wind farm, offshore wind farm, which certainly that part of the world, and certainly around where I am, just a bit further south, there's lots of wind farms, you know, environmentally friendly apparently and all that sort of thing. Anyway, let's get into the beer. So it's one of the things we noticed on the actual live show was the actual look of the beer. A dark orange haze, and it actually looks pretty much nothing like a Session IPA or a sipper, as Rob would say. And yeah, the hops in this are then Equinox, Eldorado and Zaka. They are dry hopped for this one. Best before the 19th of August of 2020. Wow, that's a long old shelf life. But this beer has only been out a couple of weeks or so. So anyway, let's get an aroma on this beer. I mean, it's been open now for probably about half an hour, so bearing that in mind, I left a little bit in the can to liven it up a little bit, and it's actually livened up a little bit. When I first poured the beer, it probably had about a 1 finger of tightly packed bubbles of a white head. So aroma then, it's got like a very kind of floral, it's almost like a spring type flower bed really, just very sweet. I mean, now it's cooled down a little bit. It's a little bit more there's a dry fruit kind of dropping in on this one now. Touch of apricot. Smells lush. Let's give it a try. Cheers. Yeah, and it's got a decent amount of carbonation in the beer, considering it's been open a good half an hour or so. And yeah, tasty beer. Yeah, bit of apricot, dried apricot almost. Very, very zippy, very zesty sort of finish. Very clean though, and it's one of the things we actually noticed about the 3 beers we've just done, and include obviously you're getting a really kind of clean sort of crisp mouthfeel. I mean, this is ultra chuggable, 3.5% ABV. This in the summer, oh my word, it wouldn't last long. It's just great for what it is, and the look of the beer, the general kind of vibe and feel of the beer. Very nice for a Session IPA. There's a lot of, for me, Session IPAs out there that are just they kind of run together a little bit. This one's got a little bit more going on with it, you know, out of the style for me. It's got a little bit of, not pininess, but there's a little bit extra kind of zip with this beer going on. A bit more a bitter back end, bittersweet back end. Nice twang, but very clean, very kind of refreshing, and sessionable as well. In terms of rating then for me on this one, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. So it's a 3.5 on the Untappd scale. Very nice beer indeed. Over to Untappd then, it's had 119 total check-ins, and what's all that going on there? It's alright, the camera's going a bit funny. 119 total check-ins, 21 in the last 30 days, so perhaps it's been out a bit longer then, I'm not too sure. 97 ratings then, coming at 3.77, so that works out at about 7.5 out of 10. Really good score for a Session IPA, and a really nice 440ml can as well. Any other information here? Allergens, blah 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 blah. Malted barley, hops, yeast, contains gluten. Brewed in can, Docks Beers. Pardon me. King Edward Street, Grimsby. docksbeers.com. I'll put all the information down below as well, and I will eventually set up a little playlist that I will be down below by the time you, perhaps not straight away, but eventually I will. So if you're watching it in a few weeks, maybe a few months, then there'll be a playlist down below. Yeah, very impressive for the first beer from this brewery. Incidentally, if you haven't already seen it, check out my collaboration review of this Bowline. They done a collab with Salt Beer Factory in Saltaire, East India Porter. So check that one out as well. I'll put a link somewhere, and I'll see you on the next review. Thanks to the brewery again for sending me the beer. Cheers.